In the event that you have ever glanced in the mirror and pondered, what came to pass with me? You are not the only one. That thought, the quiet curiosity, maybe even the quiet grief, is more common than you think. There's a change in everything that occurs when your blood flow is not what it originally was. It's not sudden. It's not dramatic. It's gradual, like the soft dimming of a light over time. Your strength begins to wane. Your vitality begins to wane. And intimacy, which is typically a silent memory that is stored away somewhere deep inside, begins to fade. However, here's a shocking revelation. Baking soda, a powder that is commonly found in every kitchen cabinet, known mostly for helping your cakes rise or your stomach settle, has the potential to help unclog your veins, encourage healthy blood flow, and reignite the energy that you believed had been lost for good. It sounds too simple, right? I understand. But stay with me. It's me, Dr. James. I've spent more than 3 decades assisting men in regaining their health, their vitality, and their confidence after the age of 60 in a way that is natural, safe, and free of potentially harmful pharmaceuticals. I've seen this story repeat in so many different forms, and yet it always points back to a few simple truths. What I'm about to share with you may cause you to reevaluate what you believe you know about getting older. Because the paradox is real. The very item that we often use to calm our stomachs may also assist greater circulation, and with that, a stronger, more connected version of yourself. In just a few seconds, I'll walk you through how to take baking soda in a step-by-step manner to provide your body with assistance from the inside out. And if you make this one small adjustment to your daily routine, you might find that you feel more alive, more present, and more like yourself again. I've seen it happen. It doesn't require drastic change. It doesn't require a complete reinvention, just one shift. Before we go any further, I would like to extend an invitation to you to subscribe to my channel and to press the bell. By doing so, you'll ensure that you do not miss any future advice that is specifically designed to assist you in feeling stronger, healthier, and more confident during any age. Simply put a 1 in the comments section if this message resonates with you. If you're not sure, that's okay too. Type 0. I read each and every remark, and I am determined to get better because of you. Now, let's take a look at what's actually going on within the body after the age of 60. To comprehend why this seemingly insignificant routine can have such a profound impact, we need to start from the inside. See, the majority of men don't experience a sudden collapse in intimacy or energy as they age. Instead, they gradually lose it year by year. It's like a slow leak in a tire. You don't notice it until one day you're flat. The cause? A gradual decrease in circulation. Once you understand why that occurs, you'll see why baking soda could be the missing piece. I remember when one of my patients looked me in the eye for the first time and said, "Doctor, I don't feel like a man anymore." I will never forget that moment. He wasn't talking about physical strength or appearance. He was talking about connection. The simple joy of waking up with a sense of purpose. The feeling that you are alive in your body, that you're needed, that you still have something powerful to give. But the truth is, his story isn't rare. It's more common than most would admit. As men age, an internal shift happens. It's often subtle at first. Maybe you feel exhausted after a short walk. Maybe your hands and feet are colder than they used to be. Maybe the spark of intimacy just isn't there like before. And over time, what was once easy, natural, becomes a challenge. But here's the truth. It is not a sign of weakness. It is biology. Nitric oxide is a naturally occurring chemical in your body that helps relax and widen your blood vessels. It's the key to smooth, efficient circulation. But after the age of 60, your body begins to manufacture significantly less of this compound. Less nitric oxide means more resistance in your arteries, and that means slower circulation. The result? Oxygen-rich blood has a harder time reaching where it needs to go. Your brain, your muscles, your heart, and yes, the areas of you that help you feel alive and connected in the bedroom. This isn't your imagination. It's not a story you're making up in your head. It's quite literally in your blood. And it doesn't stop there. Performance is just one aspect of what poor circulation affects. It alters the way you think, the way you sleep, the way you experience your life. Inflammation becomes more common. Fatigue sets in. Cognitive fog makes it harder to concentrate. You start to forget things, not because you're losing your mind, but because your brain isn't receiving the oxygen it needs to thrive. Over time, this all creates a growing sense that something inside you is slowly fading. And this is why baking soda matters. This is why something so simple can hold the key to something so profound. By supporting the balance of pH in your body and encouraging healthy nitric oxide levels, baking soda can gently support better circulation from the inside. It can help your body rediscover the rhythm it once had. It's not a cure-all. It's not a miracle. But it is a step, a quiet, powerful step, toward reclaiming your strength, your clarity, and your connection to man you know you still are inside. And that is why I share this message with you today. Because sometimes the answer isn't in something new. Sometimes it's in something old, something familiar, something you already have in your cupboard. And with the right understanding, it just might help bring back the parts of you that felt like they were slipping away. Not surprising. On the other hand, this is what I tell each and every man who enters my office. It is not impossible for something to resume its previous pace simply because it is slowed down. Support can be provided for blood flow. Help is available for your body without placing another bottle of prescription medication on your nightstand, and it can be done in a gentle and natural manner. Suppose I were to tell you that there is something right now already stored in your kitchen cupboard, something that is inexpensive, risk-free, and shockingly effective, and that this common, everyday item has a potential to restore blood flow and energy in ways that most medical professionals never bring up in conversation. Your response might surprise you. But today, we're going to talk about baking soda, and not just any use of it, but a specific, intentional approach that turns out to be the deciding factor in whether or not you experience its benefits. If you're still here, simply type 1 in the comment section to let me know you're paying attention to what I have to say, if this is making sense and resonating with you. It's really important to ensure this message is reaching the right people at the right time. Let's move forward, because I have more I want to share. 2. What baking soda actually does inside your body. I'll admit, when I first saw the information that was going around about baking soda, I was skeptical. I had always thought of it as something you might stick in a fridge to get rid of bad smells, or something you mix into water to settle an upset stomach. But the more I looked into it, the more I realized that this humble white powder has far more potential than anyone was giving it credit for. You have to understand, as we age, our body becomes less efficient at regulating pH. That is, the balance between acidity and alkalinity starts to lean toward the acidic. A more acidic internal environment can develop for a number of reasons. Eating too many processed foods, chronic stress, dehydration, or even just a natural slowing down that occurs over time. This acidic state triggers inflammation, constricts blood vessels, and makes it harder for blood to flow freely. When circulation slows down, energy levels drop. Your ability to think clearly is diminished. And yes, intimacy becomes more difficult and frustrating. This is exactly where baking soda comes in. Taken properly and responsibly, baking soda can act as a natural alkalizer. It helps restore the body's pH balance, which sets off a chain reaction of positive effects. Blood vessels begin to relax. Nitric oxide production increases. Inflammation starts to ease. The blood, which was previously thick and slow-moving, begins to flow more easily and efficiently. It's not just your heart that feels the difference. It's every cell in your body. This improved circulation reaches your brain, your muscles, your organs, and even those subtle systems that affect your emotional and relational life. Many of the men I've worked with over the years have shared similar stories. Once their body starts operating in balance again, they feel sharper, more stable, and more connected, not just to their bodies, but to their partners and their lives. It's not magic. It's simply creating the right internal environment so that your body can do what it was meant to do. And that's the key point here. If you use it correctly, it works. But if you don't, you could end up disappointed or uncomfortable. More is not better when it comes to baking soda. It's about using it with precision. I've seen people go overboard and end up with digestive upset or no improvement at all. But when you make just a small, smart adjustment, it can trigger a ripple effect across your entire system. The trick is understanding exactly how to use it, how much to take, and when to take it. So let's talk about that. How to use baking soda in the proper way to support circulation and vitality. This is based on years of practice and experience. And I want to share what has worked for real men, particularly those over the age of 60 who want to regain their vitality naturally. Let me take you back a few years to a patient of mine, Robert. He was 68, retired from engineering, incredibly bright, very kind-hearted, but frustrated. He was eating better, walking daily, sleeping more soundly, yet he still fell off. Heavy, sluggish, like he wasn't getting the payoff for all the effort he was putting into his health. He looked me in the eye and said, "I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, and I still feel stuck." And that's when we made one simple change. We adjusted how and when he was taking baking soda. And that one shift made a real difference. Suddenly, the fog lifted. His body began to respond. He had more energy, better focus. And yes, he felt more alive and connected to his partner. Here's what we did. We kept the dosage low and consistent. That's important. You don't need a lot. We used just 1/4 of a teaspoon of food-grade baking soda mixed into a glass of room-temperature water, about 8 ounces. No cold water. No hot tea. Just plain, room-temperature water. That's it. You take it once a day, ideally on an empty stomach, either first thing in the morning or before bed, depending on how your body responds. And then you give it time. You give your body a few days to adjust. You stay hydrated. You reduce the processed foods and make sure you're not introducing new sources of acidity. And what starts to happen is subtle at first. You'll feel lighter, a bit clearer. Your sleep may deepen. Your digestion becomes smoother. And gradually, you start to notice that your blood is moving more easily. And that's not just a feeling. That's your body returning to balance. This isn't a quick fix or a miracle solution. This is about restoring the foundation of your health in a way that's affordable, sustainable, and natural. If you're someone who's been searching for a better way to feel like yourself again without reaching for another prescription, this is a simple place to start. Don't underestimate the power of the small, the overlooked, the humble. Sometimes what you need has been right there on the shelf all along. Now the rest is up to you. Will you ignore it, or will you give a real try the right way? It's essential to have it first thing in the morning, before breakfast and before coffee. This is a time of day when your body is naturally more acidic due to a full night of fasting. During this window, the alkalizing effect is at its peak concentration, meaning your system is more receptive to subtle, natural shifts. You're not just consuming something. You're resetting the very chemistry that goes on inside of you. It's like starting the day by tuning a delicate instrument, setting the stage for everything else that follows. When you do this at the right time, you're supporting your inner balance, not fighting against it. You're allowing your system to work with itself, to align with its natural rhythms. And that matters, because health isn't about overpowering your body or shocking it into shape. It's about tuning in, making small shifts that ripple out through your energy, your circulation, your clarity. I recommend doing this no more than 3 to 4 times per week, never on a daily basis. Why? Because the goal here isn't to force a result. It's not about pushing harder or flooding your system with sodium every single day. The objective is much gentler than that. It's about giving your blood, your vessels, and your energy systems a nudge, not a shove. You're tweaking the engine, not revving it to the red line. You want to give your body space to respond, to adjust, to recalibrate. That's where the real magic happens. In the subtle space where your system can do what it was designed to do, when it's simply given a little help. Now, if you want to unlock even more potential benefits, there are ways to enhance this. Adding a squeeze of lemon can help amplify the alkalizing effect and add a dose of natural vitamin C. A small pinch of natural salt, not table salt, but quality sea salt or Himalayan salt, can provide trace minerals that further support your body's internal balance. That said, even when used on its own, the results can still be quite profound. After about 2 weeks had passed, Robert gave me a call. He said it was as if someone had flipped a switch, like the power had been restored to a dim room. His mental clarity had sharpened. His energy had returned. But more than anything, there was this sense of possibility again, a kind of spark that had come back. He felt like himself again. There was a renewed sense of connection, not just with his body, but with his life. And when you start to feel connected again, you begin to remember who you are. Let me be clear. Baking soda is just one piece of the puzzle. It's a doorway, not the entire house. But once circulation begins to improve, once energy starts to flow again, something else can return. Something even more powerful. Something many men believe they've lost for good. That feeling of aliveness, of strength, of intimacy, not just physical, but emotional, too. If you're still with me and this information resonates, feel free to type the number 1 in the comments. I just want you to know that I'm speaking directly to you. I see you. I've spoken to countless men who once thought their best days were behind them, but something changed, something subtle, and it made all the difference. Let's continue. One of the most fulfilling parts of my work is hearing from men who thought they were running out of time, only to discover that they still had so much left. I'm not talking about overnight miracles or dramatic transformations. I'm talking about real men like you and me who made a small shift and began to feel more like themselves again, like Charles. I'll never forget Charles. He was a former high school coach, 71 years old. His handshake was still firm, but there was something in his eyes, the weariness, the heaviness. He told me it wasn't just about intimacy or activity. It was about identity, about looking in his wife's eyes and feeling like the same man she once fell in love with. That mattered to him more than anything else. And after just a few weeks of following this baking soda approach and giving his body some space to respond, he called me, not to boast or exaggerate, just to say thank you. He wasn't training for a marathon. He wasn't doing backflips or lifting weights. But his mornings were clearer. His walks didn't leave him drained. His connection with his wife was warmer, more present, less about performance and more about presence. As he described it, it's like my body is finally responding to me again. And he's not alone. I've heard from men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s. Some say they feel more steady throughout the day. Some say they sleep better, with fewer nighttime trips to the bathroom. Many talk about how their relationships, both with others and with themselves, have gained a sense of calm, confident energy. And again, they say the same thing. I wish I had known this sooner. Because it's not just about the physical changes. It's emotional. It's psychological. When circulation improves, your whole being comes alive. You start to feel strong again, not just in your body, but in how you carry yourself. You're no longer fading into the background. You're present again. That's the spark. That's the shift. And it matters more than most people realize. But there's something important you need to be aware of. These stories are powerful, yes, but they're not foolproof, because it's also very easy to get this wrong. It's easy to overdo it, or to make mistakes that actually reverse the progress you've made. I've seen it happen. I've seen men get excited, try to push too hard, and end up back where they started, or worse. That's why we need to talk about what not to do. Because sometimes, even with the best intentions, you can block your own progress without realizing it. And when that happens, it's frustrating. You've tasted the benefits, and then they start to fade. That's why this next part is so important. Let's talk about the most common mistakes to avoid. Because when you understand what not to do, you're giving yourself a real shot at lasting progress. The kind that actually sticks and continues to build over time. Baking soda has the potential to be really useful. But there are a few crucial blunders that might prevent you from achieving your goals. Or, even worse, could cause you harm. The first is the belief that more is better. Some men have come back to me and said, "Doctor, if a quarter teaspoon helped, then a full teaspoon must be even better, right?" But that's not how the body works at all. Overloading your system with baking soda can lead to excessive sodium intake, upset your stomach, and even spike your blood pressure. It's not about pushing your body into sudden change. It's about gently supporting the natural rhythm your body already has. That's why, when it comes to baking soda, less is more. Taking it without breaks throughout a single day is the second major mistake. Even when you're doing something beneficial, your body still needs time to rest and respond. Using baking soda 3 or 4 times a week gives your body the space it needs to adjust and respond in a healthy way. Doing it every day might seem like you're being disciplined or determined, but it can actually backfire. You're not aiming for a quick fix here. You're building something that supports your health in the long term, and that takes patience. Another common issue is using low-quality baking soda. Not all baking soda is created equal. Some contain additives or trace metals that don't belong in your body. You want a food-grade version that's pure and clean. This is something you're ingesting, so quality matters, just like it does with anything else you eat or drink. Don't forget to pair it with water. It sounds obvious, but I've had a few brave souls try to take it dry, and let's just say it didn't go over too well. Always dissolve it in water. And make sure that water is room temperature. Not too cold, not too hot. Just right. Now, one last mistake, and it might be the most important. Skipping the conversation with your physician, especially if you have kidney issues, high blood pressure, or you're on a low-sodium diet. You need to talk to your doctor before trying this. Natural remedies deserve the same respect and caution as pharmaceuticals. Just because it comes from your kitchen doesn't mean it's automatically safe for everyone. Your health history matters. This is about your safety, and that has to come first. It's not my goal to scare you. Quite the opposite. I want to empower you. If you avoid these common mistakes, you'll give your body the best chance to respond fully and positively. That's when real change becomes possible. You give yourself a chance to grow into something better, more energized, more present, and more alive. Now you might be wondering, how do I actually put this into practice? What's the very first thing to do? And how will I even know if it's working? Let's go over the exact steps to take and how to begin this process with confidence. If you've made it this far, it means you're interested in something important. You're not just curious, you're ready. You're prepared to take action. And here's the good news. You don't have to overhaul your life all at once. You just need to begin with one small, manageable step that you repeat consistently. Here's what I suggest. Take a quarter teaspoon of food-grade baking soda and stir it into a glass of room temperature water. Do this in the morning before you eat, before the noise of the day sets in. As you drink, go slowly, stir gently, take a breath. No rush. This isn't a race. This is about starting your day with intention, about initiating the process of better circulation, improved energy, and a more grounded, clearer mindset. Do this 3 or 4 times a week, not every single day, and pay close attention to how your body reacts. You're not looking for fireworks. This isn't a miracle potion. You're not going to feel something dramatic after 1 or 2 doses. But over time, maybe a few days, maybe a week, you may notice that you wake up with a little more clarity. You might find that you're walking with more ease, that your thoughts feel sharper, or that you feel more rooted in your conversations, your relationships, your daily choices. It's about more than just physical performance. It's about presence. It's the feeling that you can show up for the people in your life with your best self. That you're not just getting through the day, you're participating in it fully, with energy and confidence. And while this is something you can do on your own, that doesn't mean you have to go through it alone. Talk to your doctor if you're unsure. Talk to a friend who might be feeling the same way. Listen to your body. It often knows more than we give it credit for. This is where things begin, not with prescription or a product, but with a single choice made quietly in your own kitchen. And those small changes can ripple out in ways you never expected. They can shift how you feel, how you interact, how you live. Before we move on to the next part, I want to leave you with something important. Maybe the most important thing I'll say today. And it's something that a lot of men don't hear often enough, especially as they get older. You are worth the effort. Your energy, your clarity, your presence, they matter. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You just have to begin. So start small, start smart, and let that be the beginning of something better. The way you perceive yourself matters. This is the final message from Dr. James. If you only take away one thing from everything we have discussed, let it be this. You are not at all past your prime. It is not too late. You're not too old. And you're certainly not too far gone to continue. You may have noticed a gradual decline over the years, but that decline doesn't have to last forever. It's not a sign that your best days are behind you. It's not a signal to give up. It's your body asking for support. We've talked about how circulation slows down with age, how nitric oxide production drops, and how just one change can spark massive improvements. Baking soda, a simple, well-known item, when used correctly, can help rebalance your system, support your blood vessels, and restore what many men thought they had lost. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about being present, strong, and alive in your life, your body, and your relationships. You are not done yet.